This video will be about the women's basketball transfer portal because it is on fire. Welcome back to Davis Sports Report. We are on a journey to reach 5,000 subscribers, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button to help us out and keep yourself up to date because we have so much to cover. Also, smash that like button if you enjoy this content. First up is Tania Latson with FSU. Latson has consistently been one of the top 3 of the nation's leading scorers, and she is currently holding the #1 spot, averaging 25.2 points per game, and these aren't easy points despite how easy she makes it look. People love to use the phrase a walking bucket, but if there were a dictionary picture of what that looks like, it would be Tania Latson. Latson will be entering her senior year next year without major pieces from this year's roster, as Michaela Timpson and Omariah Gordon have run out of eligibility. Florida State has been preparing for such a scenario due to Latson's incredible play and her ability to command a major NIL deal. Next is Caitlyn McMillan of Rutgers. McMillan was one of the freshmen to watch this year, and she started the season on fire, averaging 18.7 points per game and 4.7 rebounds per game. McMillan was the leading scorer and assist maker for the Scarlet Knights in the 21 games she appeared. We can only speculate that her entry into the transfer portal is due to what appears to be a tumultuous relationship between McMillan and her head coach, Coquise Washington. We saw McMillan's displeasure displayed on social media regarding her not being allowed to play in the USC game due to off-court issues, and she was notably missing in several games following. We pretty much saw this one coming. Then we have Olivia Miles with Notre Dame. We did a separate piece on Olivia Miles as we were all stunned about her decision to come back for another year of NCAA basketball while being widely projected as the #2 overall pick for the WNBA draft. Although Miles is a senior, she is eligible for one more year as she did not compete in the 23-24 season due to an ACL tear. Miles averages 15.4 points per game, 5.6 rebounds, 5.8 assists, while scoring at a 48% field goal percentage, and her three-point shots have improved tremendously. Miles' best skill is being a true leader on the floor, making everyone better around her. Currently, we don't know why she's chosen to go into the transfer portal, as it appears that her and Coach Neil Ivey, as well as her other teammates, appear to have a mutual liking for each other. But we will continue to follow this story. Next is Jaylen Brown with Arizona State. Jaylen started her career in Louisville and has spent the last 2 years at Arizona State under Natasha Adair, where her game grew tremendously, averaging 18 points per game this year at 41% accuracy. In March, Arizona State decided to part ways with head coach Adair, and shortly after, Jaylen, along with 6 of her teammates, entered the transfer portal. So it's safe to assume that the two were connected. The upcoming season will be Brown's senior year, so I'm sure she will be looking for a program that complements her playing style. Then there's Cody McMahon with Ohio State. McMahon was the top scorer for the Buckeyes last year, putting up an average 16.5 points per game. McMahon is a native of Ohio and has spent all 3 years of her college career with the Buckeyes. But it appears that love has soured, as rumors have it that she's looking for a team that can use her skills to accomplish a national title. This is stemming from her post online stating, "Want to be surrounded with people who have the same fight, passion, and love for the game just as much as I do." Next is Talia Scott with Auburn. This is another player that's leaving after the departure of a coach. In March, Auburn parted ways with head coach Johnny Harris, and after this announcement, Scott entered the transfer portal along with a few of her teammates, as well as 2 decommits from the incoming recruiting class. Scott, a McDonald's All-American, played 1 year at Arkansas, having a stellar freshman year, landing her on the SEC All-Freshman team before transferring to Auburn, where her season was cut short due to a wrist injury early in the season. It's being reported that Talia has committed to Baylor, and this is quite the get for the Bears, especially if guard Dariana Littlebug Page is slated to return next year, and that will be one dynamic backcourt. Then we have Samaya Smith with LSU, and this one was a bit of a surprise to us because Smith seemed to fit well in the LSU style of play. While her stats don't jump off the page, this sophomore played a big role in the success of the Tigers last year. Smith was a part of the 2022 championship team as a freshman, where she also earned her way on the SEC All-American team. The next year, she sat out with an injury and came back this year with very impressive play. We haven't found a reason for the transfer, but we will keep you posted once we find out. Next is Garzone with Indiana. Garzone was a top scorer for the Hoosiers last year and really an all-around player, both offense and defense. Yardine has been at Indiana 3 years and became the best perimeter shooter in program history with an above 40% success from the three-point line, as well as 18th overall nationwide for total three-pointers. I'm not finding an indication of why she's choosing to leave at the moment, but the assumption would be that she's looking for more visibility for her senior year. InsideTheHalls.com is stating that she has a do not contact in place, but On3 is reporting that Kentucky has reached out to the 6'3" guard, as they will be in need of a great guard in the absence of Georgia Amoore. Then there's Sarah Williams with Wisconsin. This is yet another result of a coach departure. In March, Wisconsin stated that head coach Marissa Moseley was resigning. Check out our piece on the coaches to get the real deal on that. But at any rate, Sarah, along with other teammates, entered the transfer portal immediately after the departure of Moseley. Sarah has spent the past 3 years at Wisconsin, winning multiple awards, including 2-time first-team All-Big Ten, Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, and 2 times Big Ten All-Defensive Player team. Sarah will be taking her talents, which includes top scorer, rebounder, and block shots from the Badgers, elsewhere for her senior year. She will be a major addition for any squad. Next is Caitlyn Peterson with University of Central Florida. Peterson was the top scorer not only at UCF, but also 13th nationwide for points per game, putting up an average 21.4 points per game. Peterson is also the leader in steals for the Knights. Peterson spent 2 years at Indiana, one of those years being injured, then transferred to UCF for her previous 2 years, where her scoring has improved tremendously. It has been reported that Caitlyn has committed to coach McPhee McCoon at Ole Miss. Then we have Gianna Nepkins of Utah. Nepkins has played 4 years at Utah, one of those with an injury, making her eligible for 1 more year. Nepkins has an accuracy better than most, averaging 19.3 points per game at 50.4% accuracy rate. Nepkins earned the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year award in 2022, a 2 times first-team All-Pac-12 in 2022 and 2023, and first-team All-Big 12 in 2025. This change could be due to the change in coaching earlier this year, as coach Lynn Roberts left the program to coach in the WNBA for the Los Angeles Sparks after 4 games, locking the players in for the season as the portal was not yet open. Next is Kara Dunn with Georgia Tech. The junior out of Dallas, Georgia, has spent her past 3 years with Georgia Tech, where she averaged 15.5 points per game and 5.8 rebounds. Dunn has been the 3-point sharpshooter for the Yellow Jackets this past year, putting up 52 this season. She is the lead scorer for the Yellow Jackets. It appears the reason that Dunn is leaving is due to the head coach, Nell Fortner, retiring despite being offered a contract extension in February that would have taken her through the 29-30 season. This seems abrupt after signing an extension just 2 months ago. We will cover the other Yellow Jackets that are also departing after being made aware of the coach's retirement. It is being rumored that Dunn has a do not contact in place, but that is not by a source that I deem reliable. Then there's Danny Carnegie, also leaving Georgia Tech. Danny, a freshman that had an outstanding start to the season before suffering a hamstring injury. Carnegie has a lot to offer, and she's only a freshman, and she showed her leadership and basketball IQ quickly. Again, this is another player that appears to be leaving due to the coach's retirement. And another one, Toni Morgan, has also entered the transfer portal after Coach Fortner's retirement announcement. Morgan was a guard with the Yellow Jackets, averaging 13.7 points per game at 48.9% accuracy. Morgan is a junior out of Tallahassee, Florida, so I'm sure Florida State is probably reaching out. And for Georgia Tech, they will have to rebuild from the ground up. Then there's Caitlyn Wymer with North Carolina State. While Caitlyn is transferring from NC State, she never actually played for NC State. Early in the fall, Wymer had a hip surgery that took her off the court for the entire season. Prior to NC State, Wymer was at Boston University, where she averaged 18.4 points per game and 10.6 rebounds. If she's healthy and ready to go, she's going to be a great addition to any roster. With a 6'4" frame and able to hoop with the best of them. Next is Sophie Glansancy with Northern Arizona, who has spent 3 years at Northern Arizona. Glancy's averaged 18.1 points per game and 9.6 rebounds, bringing both offense and defense to the table. I'm going to assume that Glancy is transferring to be more visible as this will be her senior year. As well, there was a change in head coach at Northern Arizona as former head coach Lori Payne left for the head coaching position at Santa Clara University. Then we have Jada Williams with Arizona. She added her name to the portal and there was a bit of drama around this one. Williams initially committed to UCLA but eventually decommitted and chose Arizona. Williams has spent 2 years at Arizona, averaging 12.7 points per game in the past season, but she's decided to jump into the transfer portal, prompting her coach, Adia Barnes, to say that she would no longer turn away from portal players in order to keep playing time for freshmen because they transfer anyways. As Williams posted her decision to transfer and her visit to Iowa State, WNBA player Kelsey Plum popped into her comments section stating, and I quote, "Just shoot a better percentage from the three. That's all I care about," end quote. Williams averaged 29.2% from the three. It's also being rumored that Williams will be visiting Iowa. Moving on to Laura Ziggler with St. Joseph's. Ziggler, originally from Denmark, has international experience prior to joining St. Joseph's. Ziggler puts up an average 17.5 points per game and 10.4 rebounds per game, and according to On3, Ziggler had 20 double-doubles and 2 triple-doubles. The numbers speak for themselves. She's a forward that needs to be put on a larger stage to see what she can contribute to a larger program and get more exposure. We haven't found a reason for Ziggler's departure, but if we hear anything, we will bring it to you. Then there's Clara Silva leaving Kentucky, who's another international player that has experience with Portugal. Silva is a 6'7" freshman that was the other twin tower for Clara Strack. Silva played limited minutes but managed to still average 4 points per game and 2.6 rebounds. It's being reported that Silva has committed to TCU. Sedona Prince has not, as of today, declared for the WNBA, so either Silva will be playing behind Sedona Prince or replacing her. With some work, I think Silva would be a great center for the Horned Frogs. And lastly, we have Kate Kaval with Notre Dame. The freshman 6'5" center from Ukraine has entered the transfer portal. Kaval was the main center early in the year while Liza Carlin and Maddie Westbell were recovering from injury. Kaval averaged 5.3 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, and 1.7 blocks per game. Kaval has the body style and movement that can post up to protect the rim, and with experience, she's likely to be a force. There seems to be an issue at Notre Dame as 3 players have entered the portal, but no one is speaking out. So we aren't sure why Kaval has entered the portal, but I suspect that the beans will be spilled soon. That was a lot, and we only touched on a few of the many transfers. We will be coming back often to update you on where these transfers will land, as well as new players entering the portal. If you made it this far and didn't hit the thumbs up, go ahead and do that for me now. What are you waiting for? Also, leave your comments below on where you think these players will land and where you'd like to see them land. We will see you on the next one. Have a good one. Goodbye.